Hello student, welcome back, and today we are going to continue our paper lah. The previous paper we discussed until I think it's around here. Okay, so we discussed until here, but just let's recap the question. At least we read the question because I know I stopped until here, but let's recap the question. Okay, so the question asks about something, showing something. This is the what is this called? This is the device to kill the insect. What is this called? Okay, a device to kill the insect. Okay, so it is quite common. And let's see what the question. This one we already do the formula, so we already do. And yeah, let's look at this question. We stop until here. The fluorescent tube emit ultraviolet radiation can be seen. So this light attract the insect. So calculate the frequency. Okay, v equals to f lambda. V is the velocity equals to frequency times the wavelength. Wavelength in terms of the meter. Okay, so wavelength is given, is in the meter, and the frequency they ask you to find, but they already give you the velocity v. Okay, so v equals to f lambda. You you get the answer. The working 1 mark, answer 1 mark. Suggest why a grill metal rod is placed in front of the device. Why a grill metal rod is placed? So maybe you want to answer why there's a grill metal rod is placed. Yeah, very good. Okay, so it's to protect the human. Okay, so to protect, wait, I need to zoom in so I can, my handwriting nice a bit. Okay, protect human from touching and from the high voltage lah, whatever lah, just write something like that lah. The main thing is to protect human. Okay, not to conduct electric lah, it doesn't make sense lah. You want to put the grill thing and then you want to conduct the electric. Of course, you put the grill thing so that when you touch that time there is you won't feel electric current. But of course, maybe you ask why not use plastic or not use rubber, but metal is harder ma. That's why you see the MCB box, your house, the electric box is also covered with a metal box. Okay, the reason is also is to provide fire outbreak. It's hard, so it's not easy to break. You don't want people to break the box, the metal box, that you know, the electric, everywhere you go there's a metal box. So first thing is people cannot easily break. Secondly is also prevent fire outbreak. Okay, you don't want to use wood, later they got fire, how you cannot use cement, right? You also cannot use plastic because it's easier and break. So that one of the better way is to use rubber, but of course professional a bit lah. Before you really want to do this thing, you wear a glove. Okay, the rubber glove. If you're not sure of this electric thing, you got test pen, everything you do properly. Like even the handle is plastic, right? The box is metal, but the handle is a plastic handle. Okay, so suggest a grill rod is placed there to protect human, whatever lah, something like that, from high voltage or anything lah. At first also I don't understand when I read, but if you read and read and read again the question, then you understand, oh, they are talking about that. When I read, I'm talking a grill metal rod, seems correct to conduct electric. Then I'm thinking like, why they use the word grill? Grill, is there a grill door or grill or chicken grill or what? Then I think, oh, it's this grill, because grill got another one more meaning, right? The grill door, like, you know, the grill door, like the door lah, the grill door. So yeah, so make sure we need to understand the question. So this question number 7, just let me write the question 7 here. Okay, a balanced diet for a person contain nutrient in the correct amount. Need state, wait, let me read the question. I don't want to skip the question. Iron is needed in the diet. If a person does not take enough iron, they will suffer from anemia. So what do you know? When you read anemia, you should know what's anemia. If not, it's very difficult to, if you know, you know. You don't know, then you don't know this question. Okay, anemia is actually lack of red blood cell. Okay, substance. So lack of red blood cell, it will cause the person to look tired. The face will be white color, like pale and white color, due to lack of red blood cell. It could be a disease, maybe the person lack of iron, but it is a effect of many disease lah. So it doesn't mean anemia, because there are a lot of reasons. Okay, due to poor diet, due to sleep pattern, due to health, due to cancer, due to disease. And when we are talking about disease, there are so many disease. So we need to, that's why it's a doctor. I'm not a doctor. When you go doctor will diagnose what is your problem. There can many things that lead to anemia. State the name the substance that used to make iron. So basically visually we prescribe iron for them because iron can build red blood cell, correct or not? Because if you don't know, then we need to consume iron maybe by supplement, broccoli, some vegetable. Maybe if the person is vegetarian, maybe he face this problem more because he seldom eat the vegetable that have iron, because usually vegetable don't have much iron, so you need to really pick the vegetable that has iron. So hemoglobin, iron is to use to make red blood cell. Hemoglobin, can you write red blood cell? Cannot. Okay, the masking scheme only write hemoglobin, so if you write red blood cell, then you didn't get any mark. Explain why the person is suffering for anemia but feel tired. Lack of hemoglobin, correct, you will get 1 mark. And because lack of hemoglobin, your body cannot carry the enough oxygen, so you don't have enough energy. Okay, and it's something like that lah. I just explain a bit. Okay, here say the marking scheme say what? Not enough red blood cell, you got 1 mark. Not enough oxygen, so if the best that's why I said, one more point is given if you got right oxygen, OXYGEN, and one more point if you got right respiration. So either one lack of oxygen or lack of respiration, you will still get 1 mark according to the marking scheme. Don't have this one means no mark according to the marking scheme. A person eat the pie, meat pie, blah blah blah. Okay, wait, I don't want to skip the question already. Meat pie contain protein and a large proportion of fat and carbohydrate. Okay, it's a meat. Okay, makes sense. Potato fried oil contain large proportion of carbohydrate and fat. So both contain a lot of carbohydrate and fat. But meat pie got slightly more protein and a glass of water. Suggest one food that can be added to make the meal more balanced. You want to put apple, so that because it contains fiber, so you can avoid constipation, correct or not? It's good for your digestion. If not, if you always eat this, then one day when you go to toilet, the shit won't just come out, then that is not good, because you will need to sit in the toilet for very long. So make sure you need to eat a lot of fiber, either from vegetable and fruit. Okay, so very good lah. We study science not only to answer in the question, but to apply in life. I hope that if you got see this, then you will apply this in life. Okay, eat more of vegetable and fruit. Okay, explain why regular eating meal in 7.1 can lead to obesity. Yeah, of course, because it's got a lot of fat, correct or not? So if you say a lot of fat, anything lah, say just say something, the food got a lot of fat and consume, the intake of energy is more than the what? Very good. Okay, so the intake of energy is higher and the excess will be stored as fat. Okay, so I just put here one more to make the answer better. Okay, because the intake oxygen is more than the person that will be using, that they will use, so the energy will be stored as fat. Okay, so we got 2 marks. Can use your own word I just write a small point. When you do in your exam, you just make it a sentence. If the person meet it showing 7.1 over a long period, increase the risk of developing coronary heart disease. Explain what is mean by coronary heart disease. Okay, the blockage of heart artery may lead to heart attack. Okay, this one you will get 1 point. According to the marking scheme, there's another 1 more point. Yeah, okay, coronary arteries. The another main answer required by the marking scheme is coronary arteries. Okay, so coronary arteries is here, okay, around the heart. So you need to mention about coronary artery. Okay, so maybe you can say there is a narrow of or blockage in the coronary artery. Okay, that will lead to heart attack. But because I just give 1 mark because the marking scheme already put the bold the word. So this word must appear in the student answer. So I just follow the marking scheme. So coronary heart artery also caused from coronary arteries. What is coronary arteries is here, okay? Right coronary artery, left coronary, and something happen around here that will lead to heart attack. Suggest why regular eating meals similar to 7.1 increase the person risk in developing coronary heart rate, because it contains large amount of fat. Okay, because there is fat, so the fat will actually accumulate in your the blood vessel, and your lumen will be getting smaller. Okay, so when it gets smaller and smaller, at last there will be a blockage, or the thing will burst, like the pipe burst. Okay, because your pipe is not elastic and got too much fat. When it bursts, either you will have stroke, or you will have heart attack, or you will die. That is why exercise is important. Exercise, sleep, healthy diet, more vegetable, more fruit, is very good. So not only we learn I really hope that you guys can practice at home it will make your life happier when you grow up. Use the periodic table, page 24, to deduce the electronic structure. What do we mean by electronic structure? Of course, this one is wrong this one is not electronic structure. Okay, let's electronic structure, like for example, let's say oxygen. Let's say it's oxygen. So oxygen is 16, right? 16 proton number, if I'm not mistaken. So 16 proton number electronic configuration will be 2.8.6. Understand or not? Because you know what is this? Okay, so of course this is about the valence electron, and here got 2, here got 8, the second shell got 8, and then the outer shell got 6. So if I draw out and I write out the address, like the IP address, computer IP address, so it will be 2.8.6. Calcium. Can you let me know what is the answer for calcium? So if this is the paper, your exam paper, we look for calcium. Where is calcium? 20. So you can see that the proton number is 20, atomic number is 20, so probably the electron will be 20. Okay, so wait, just let me go back to the question. So it is 20 electron, so you need to write 20 electron because here got 2 mark. So when you write 20 electron, you get 1 mark. Okay, and the electronic configuration. So first you write the number of electron. Second, you draw the electronic structure, which is 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 2. Correct or not? Because 2 plus 8 plus 8 plus 2, you get back 20. If I want to draw it out, it will be something like this. I don't want to draw out, I will take some time. 2, and then outside here got 8, another one got 8, and the most outer layer actually have 2. Okay, it's like when you have the electronic configuration, you can draw the electron with its shell. B, a student investigate the rate of the reaction between dilute hydrochloric acid powder and calcium carbonate. Okay, let me highlight this word. They say dilute acid HCl and calcium carbonate CaCO3. It will produce carbon dioxide. Gas is produced. Okay, so there will be a bubble, and there's a digital balance and cotton wool. So probably this thing will get lighter, is it? Because you burn and it give out the carbon dioxide. So as you burn it, it will get lesser because carbon dioxide is escaping. It cannot be more heavy, because there are some gas escaping, unless they are absorbing something into it, maybe oxygen. What? The student measure the mass of the flask in this reaction. So the mass is reduced. According to time, the mass is reduced, and then maybe the question will ask why is it stopped? Okay, because the reactant is being used up already, correct or not? So there is no more reaction that will be taking place. Calcium carbonate reactant is being used up. Explain why the mass of conical flask decreased. Why it decreased? Because carbon dioxide is given off. Okay, so carbon dioxide is very common. Explain the particle collection, the effect of higher temperature. So if higher temperature, the reaction will grow faster, correct or not? This is a chapter of, there are 4 factors that can influence the rate of reaction, correct or not? Surface area, temperature, pressure, catalyst, and one more is what lah? Yeah, concentration. Okay, concentration. So in terms of this, is talking about pressure, and they ask you why. Because if you got right, kinetic energy will get 1 mark, because when you put in higher temperature, more heat, kinetic energy will increase, and this will increase the collision rate, the chances of collision, and therefore the reaction will be faster. So you get 2 marks for this question. Kinetic energy you must write. Collision you must write, already underline. Just make sentence out of something of this keyword, then you got your mark. The student repeat the experiment with higher temperature, sketch it. So of course when you sketch it, 1 mark. If you sketch it more steep, because the reaction will take faster. If you say more low temperature, the reaction will go slower. But he say more heat so the reaction will go faster. 1 mark. 1 more mark is it will go back to the same line. Okay, go back to the same line. Why? Because we are still using the same amount of reactant. We didn't add. But you be careful of this question. Sometimes the question will say they add one, then you have a different result. So probably some question, when you draw, it will be something like this. Okay, so you be careful. Sometimes due to the concentration, sometimes it's like this. So that doesn't mean every question is like that. Okay, so make sure you read the question properly. Calcium chloride is produced during the reaction. Okay, so you get salt and carbon dioxide. Name other substance in the dilute that produce calcium chloride. Okay, anything lah. So you can say maybe calcium oxide, calcium hydroxide, calcium also can. Okay, so you get 1 mark as long as you get the equation. Next question. This is question number 9. Show the heating element. I don't know whether your house still got use this or not. I mean some people how you did. I also last time I used this lah. Then I buy another one. You press is easier. Yeah. So it depends. My house also I also got the press one. I prefer the press one lah. This one is like I need to wait the water. It's like wasting my time. The kettle is filled with 10 degrees Celsius. Why fill in with cold water? 10 degrees, I don't know. The heating element turns it to boil the water. State the temperature of the water inside the kettle boiling. Of course, boiling temperature is 100 degrees Celsius. Make sure your unit just be careful the unit. So here got unit already, so you don't need to write. 100 Celsius the melting point of the water. Maybe slightly higher, been due to dissolve mineral. Unless you want to use distilled water, you get 100. So probably in your house also you got maybe 100.01 because inside got dissolved mineral. The electric kettle is put a switch. Okay, this one I need to read carefully. You want a switch, you want the heating element, and you want a fuse. Complete the diagram including the fuse symbol. The heating element is this one. So there's a power, and that's heating element, and there is a fuse, there is a switch. Okay, so yeah, should be correct lah, because there's a fuse and here, and then some more this is AC. But if can I prefer to, if can, when I draw, because I scared it's DC and that's direct current, so I prefer to draw something like this. Let's say this is the current. It makes more sense. Let's say this is the current. Okay. Then the first thing you want to go is to the either fuse or the switch first, correct or not? Because you want either the switch first or the fuse first. So probably I put the fuse first better. Okay, fuse first. So in case something happened to the switch, maybe the thing will cut. So I will go to the fuse first. After the fuse, then only I go to the switch. Then I go to the heating element. Heating element. This is the resistor. Yeah, I cannot erase, but it's something like that. Resistor, the fuse, resistor pula. the fuse, and then it go back. Then it makes, like, let's say DC, the electric travel like that so too much current here will break first. So it make more sense if you put the fuse first, then you put the switch, then you put the heating element, same like your house lah, correct or not? When your house you want to plug in the switch, but the switch is there lah, so there's a switch first, then when you plug in your plug, the 3-pin plug got a fuse, then got the element. So if you look properly, the fuse is at the live wire. Okay, see, but our house also is AC current, so it's supposed to be fuse first. Even you see in your house, there's a fuse. It's not putting at the, it's more at the live current. So like that lah. But here I cannot see where's the live because it just show like that. Is it two-way? Because you know, right, there's a live and neutral wire. So or some equipment doesn't really matter. So this AC, sometimes some equipment don't really matter because you know lah, sometimes when you buy some electric equipment, there's only 2 pin, correct or not? So you either plug in like that, like the handphone charger, or you plug in like that. So whether you want to plug in like that or you plug in like that, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so probably this will be some of the equipment. It doesn't really matter how you plug it. That's why where you put the fuse also, it doesn't really matter. But I still prefer this one. Just prefer this one. C, show the structure of a heat. What is this? Figure 9.3 show the structure inside the tube of heating element. So means this thing inside, the thing inside here, there's a metal, and inside here there is a resistant wire. So probably you want to have a high resistant wire, so that when the electric travel through, there will be high resistance, that it will produce heat. But we don't want the thing to break. We don't want it to too hot to break. So that's why we also have fuse to control the current, and you are also putting water lah. So the maximum temperature it goes should be 100 and cannot be more than that, because the boiling water is 100. Until if you don't put the water, then it might spoil. I think it will spoil, So you can take out the water, don't put water, and you try to turn on. Then the thing will spoil lah, because there's no thing to control the temperature, and the thing will break. So maybe you can try this if you want to, but you ask your mom permission first. Describe the term molecule, how the thermal energy is transferred to the power filling. What I'm reading. Describe the term of molecule and other particle, how thermal energy is transferred from the powder filling through the metal tube to the water. Okay, so the heat will transfer from the wire, correct or not? It was starting from the wire first, then it will go to the filling powder, then it will go to the metal tube. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so describe the term of molecule. So how does this thing work? Okay, particle will vibrate because energy is passed from one to another, and they have kinetic energy between them. Okay, so you got, if you say vibration and of molecule, and we will pass on to one another, then you will got too much. Okay, this is how heat transfer. Okay, when you increase the heat, there's a vibration, and it's moving faster and faster, and you pass the vibration to another, and it will cause heat. But of course, this thing you cannot see lah, because we are not Superman. You need to maybe use some microscope or electron microscope, so only can see, which usually school don't have lah. Maybe university got lah, but in even in school usually don't have. I don't think even university got leh. I think it's very expensive, the electron microscope, that you can see until like electron. Table 9.1 gives the properties of 4 substances in the form of powder. So of course you want to put powder. They are not talking about powder to what like powder that you want to put on your body, or the powder that you want to make bomb. When they are talking about this powder, they are referring to the power inside this tube. Okay, means inside this tube, they have the powder. We don't want to leave it empty. If you leave it empty, then it also will generate heat, but it's more difficult to generate heat, correct or not? Because there's no particle for you to vibrate, and there's air, and air is a very bad conductor of heat. So we don't want that. You want to put something, maybe you want to put iron powder, maybe, I don't know. But can you put iron powder? Cannot, because iron powder conduct electric. So instead of the electric travel like this, like a circle, if you put iron powder, the electric will travel like this. So it makes no point. You cannot, you want to use some powder have probably don't conduct electric, and it has a very good thermal conductivity. It's a good heat conductor, but don't melt, because when you melt, then again the thing won't work. Okay, the electric will just pass through like that. So the higher the value of the electric conductivity of power, the better the electric conductor is. The higher conductivity, of course the higher the conductivity, the higher the higher the thermal energy conductivity of metal powder, the better. Of course the higher the conductivity, the better, is it? So table 9.1 suggests the best choice powder for powder filling. So what is the best choice? So your answer will be what? Very good. Either you want to use magnesium or aluminium. Let's take the lower one. The lower one will be, maybe we can say aluminum oxide, or you can take this one. So your answer, for example, I just write aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide, you will get 1 mark. And why? Because we can say that it is a poor electric conductor. Okay, it is a poor electric and poor electric conductor, poor electric conductor. Okay, because it is a poor electric conductor here.
I thought they want to conduct electric to generate the heat.
No, because the question asked about the powder. The powder, you cannot conduct electric like this one. If you put, let's say, iron, use iron powder is even better. You can conduct even more electric. But if you put iron, the electric will go through like this. So eventually the thing will not become hot. You don't want the electric to travel like that. You want the electric to travel like this, so that you can increase the resistance. And while increasing the resistance using the resistant wire, and then you want something to fill it, so that, like a powder to fill it, so that the heat can transfer outside. We don't want it to conduct the electric. Yeah, so that is why you cannot say carbon, because carbon can conduct electric. So like electrolysis, you know that electrolysis, they use the carbon rod, and for electric you need to electrolysis, you need to use electric. Carbon is not, I don't think carbon is really a good conductor if you compare with other things. I think one of the best, that the thing that we use in our electric cable is copper. So copper is one of the best to conduct electric, but carbon also can depend on, since it's not that good, so there might be higher voltage is needed to make sure it's conduct the electric. So 2 mark again, choose either one, you will get 1 mark, because it has a very low electrical conductivity. Okay, and of course magnesium oxide also is true, but we don't want to use sulfur. Sulfur also cannot conduct electric, sulfur powder, but the thermal conductivity is too low, so the heat will be more slow to generate. So we just take a medium one. Medium one will be around here and here. Correct or not? Because we want the electric to be efficient. I think sulfur also can work, but your kettle won't be that efficient in terms of energy usage. So you already learned, right, in the chapter. They will ask you to calculate the efficiency of the equipment. So you choose these two. The resistant wire in the heating coil is replaced by a wire of the same material and same length. Wait, let me highlight this word. Instead of heating oil, instead of oil with the same material, okay, so probably you get back the same thing and the same length. Okay, you get the same length. The new wire has a greater cross section, so the wire is more fat. Okay, suggest the resistance, so the resistance will be lower. Why? Because cross area is inversely proportional to the resistance. Yes, means that if the greater the surface area, the lower the resistance, if you want to run like that, correct or not? The wire is bigger, then you got less resistance. Smaller, then you get high resistance. So that's why you don't put all your house equipment into the same plug, correct or not? When you put everything into the same plug, then there's too much current, but your wire only this thick, so eventually it will melt and cause fire outbreak. You can put you can put many equipment through using the same plug, but make sure the is fulfill the calculation, everything, if you can calculate, and the wire is thick, correct or not? Like your aircon wire thicker, your aircon wire can usually our house is 13 ampere, right? But the aircon wire is I think is 15 ampere, so it's much more bigger. So that's it for this question. Let's see. Thank you very much. See you again.